This video is to announce my retirement. Today I submit my retirement letter to my district after 29 years of teaching and being a principal in the same district. I'm back, and you can see by the light outside that it's a different time of day, but I wanted to talk about my retirement while it was fresh in my mind to share kind of as I go through this process. Well, in Missouri, you can retire at 25 and out, or 80 and out, or 33, or however it goes. After 25, you can pretty much retire. At 80 and out, it's your years of service and your age. Currently, at the end of this year, in May, I will be 51 and my years of service will be 29, which equals 80. If I were still married, I was going to retire at 25 and out because there was an additional salary in the home. And even though that didn't work out, I still think things happen for a reason, so I'm not totally distraught about that. I have my notes below me right here. So there's two things I wanted to talk about. One is the financial preparation for retirement, and two is the mental preparation for retirement. The financial preparation is a little bit easier to talk about, so I'm going to talk about that first. But as far as financial planning, I do not have a financial planner, or I didn't use a financial planner. We can go to retirement planning meetings and call the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education and talk about retirement however often we want to. So I've probably been to 2 or 3 meetings about retirement, and then I've called and spoken with them on the phone. So in the state of Missouri, you can go to those types of meetings and do that. At 80 and out, it's hypothetically, I think it's calculated at 80% of your retirement. I will be making approximately the same amount of money in retirement that I made while I was working. So let's hypothetically say right now I'm making $5,000 a month. I make more than that, but let's just use that as an example because it's easy. It means that I will still get a check once a month for $5,000. However, I now have to pay my own insurance, and I need to calculate what taxes come out of that check in advance. Where originally I had taxes taken out, I have a tax accountant do all that stuff, and he calculates the taxes, and sometimes I take out too much, sometimes I take out not enough, but I asked him how much to take out. So hypothetically, if I'm bringing home $5,000 a month and I have to take out insurance and taxes, it might only be $4,000 a month. But I'm used to living on $5,000 a month with insurance and taxes taken out and already dealt with. Therefore, I may need to figure out a way to make that extra $300 to $500 a month to make up the difference if I've been living paycheck to paycheck and am counting on the same amount of money. Retirement is hypothetically when your house is paid off, you don't live paycheck to paycheck, you don't have the same amount of bills, like you're retired. Like after 30 years, you would have paid off a 30-year mortgage to a home or whatever. And that's the old school's way of thinking about retirement, but that's the way retirement is meant to be. I'm back. I started this yesterday at parent-teacher conferences, and then it was time to go, and I didn't want to stay much later than I had stayed the night before. So today I want to talk about the mental preparation for retirement, and this is going to be really tough. I have my notes in front of me, and I know it's time to retire. Like everything about this tells me it's time to retire. I love my people. I love the school that I work in. I love all of those things. You just know when it's time. Being a principal today is very different than when I started. The last few years have been very different. That's a whole other video, but you kind of just know when it's time. I don't think I have this written down, but everybody knows that I'm going to retire. It's not a secret, like I'm waiting to announce. I've said from the beginning of the school year that this is my last year, so it's not something that's going to be a surprise. I have to officially submit the letter, which I've done, but then everybody knows it's coming. Of course, there's always that hope or thought in the back of somebody's mind that I might stay, or they all may be glad that I'm going. I'm not sure. But here are some of the things that mentally I've been thinking and trying to mentally prepare for retirement. One is, what am I going to do with my time? I actually have a lot of stuff planned. I love video creation and editing. I love podcasting. I love blogging. I don't know how that's going to fit in not being a principal. Obviously, I have 18 years worth of experience as a principal. Do I want to keep talking about that, or do I want to do something else? I really would love to keep up with this YouTube channel, and now that I have time, that might be something I can do. My kids are actually still in high school. A lot of people didn't think I was going to do this until Allison, my oldest, graduated at least. Well, she's going to be a senior next year, so she'll have 1 year that I get to be a stay-at-home mom for. I've never been a stay-at-home mom. So Cassidy's sophomore year and Allison's senior year, I get to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't know if I will want to or how long that will last, but at least it's an option for me. I have huge money insecurities. Like I said about the financial part of this, I will be making the same amount of money, but I just have that money insecurity. I've read lots of books and tried to work on that and think about that. I have a big dental bill to pay. Last year I had an irregular breast biopsy or mammogram and had to have a breast biopsy. I'm still paying on those two medical things. My car will be paid off within the year. Also, I could have a whole other career for the next 20 to 25 years. I'm only 51. It might seem old to some people, but I really am only 51, so there's a lot of time left for me to do something else. I do have a lot of retired teacher friends, and I have spoken to them about retirement, and they do say that the first year is great, and then you kind of have to find something to do, or what are you going to do with your time? I have asked and sought advice from other retired teachers. That has been helpful. It is hard not to know what's next. I knew when I became a principal that there was a purpose. It was a God thing. I knew why I was doing it. I knew it was meant to be. I knew when I had my kids it was meant to be. Once those things happened in my life, I understood the journey. Right now, I don't understand the journey. I keep expecting there to be a big aha, or people talk about, I heard the Lord's voice, or God spoke to me. I'm like, well, when did he speak to you? Was it AM, PM, at night, in the morning? Like, the Lord's not speaking to me right now. I keep thinking there's going to be this big aha moment where I'm going to know what my next steps are. This one, I wasn't really sure about sharing this one, but the fear of loneliness. And I'm sharing this because I think others can relate to this and it might help somebody else that's going through this. I am a single parent and my kids are going to be gone in 3 years. I have that fear of loneliness. I have plenty of things to do and I enjoy my alone time probably more than I should, but you do have that. Since I'm not married, I have that fear of loneliness. I don't feel it right now, but it might be coming. I don't want to be the old lady that lives in a home with cats and has to have her food blended and her kids come and visit or something like that. So if that offends you, it's just gonna have to offend you. Excitement. The one thing, let me move I just don't like the way this is set up. The one thing that I probably don't know how to share as much with people is the excitement level. I'm so excited to not have the stress and really be able to do whatever I want. Excited to come and go, excited to cook breakfast for my kids. I've been doing that this year actually, and then sending them off to school. And while they're at school, I can do whatever I want. Like I said, being a stay-at-home mom. So there's days that I get really excited. I start thinking about this, and there's been some really tough days lately. Like there was a day that sealed the deal for me. If I had second thoughts about retiring, then I didn't that day. I don't think I'm gonna miss that part of it, the stress and everything like that. Preparing for the last day. Like I said, I am glad that I talked about retiring this whole time, but I'm a little worried about like the last day is final. Like, it's the last day. There's going to be the last day with kids and the last day with teachers, but there's going to be the last day that I walk out of this building and walk out of my office as my last day, that I won't be coming back. I don't think I'm prepared for that. I think that's going to be really hard. I'm going to try to look at it as an exciting opportunity and not the death or end of something. But preparing for that last day is something that I've been thinking about. I am glad mentally that I've been thinking about this for a while and didn't just decide at the last minute, or in December I submit my letter and then I tell my teachers. My teachers know, everybody knows, but there is a lot of mental processing that goes along with retirement as a teacher, or in my case, as a principal. I'll probably title this Teacher Retirement because probably more teachers are retiring right now that this information might be helpful, and I would want them to find this on YouTube. But those are just a few of my mental retirement planning issues that I've been having lately. I need to land this plane on retirement because this video could go on forever. I think something that is going to be hard is I've submit my letter, it gets approved by the board tomorrow. I feel like I lose my voice at that time. Whenever they see your name on the docket retiring at the end of the year, I feel like whatever opinion or voice I have is silenced at that time. Oh, don't listen to her. She's retiring. It's no big deal. When she's gone, we'll do this. Or, oh, they're the grouchy old principal or teacher that is, when they're done, don't worry about it. Just bide your time. And that drives me crazy because I genuinely want what's best for teachers and our profession. And I feel like experience is seen as a challenge, or experience is not valued when you get to this point in your career. I feel like experience, people should listen when you get to this point. A lot of states you can't retire until later in life, if you can even retire. I don't even know what the plans are in other states. So other principals might be working longer than I have worked. However, I wish that my voice could still be heard. Now, on the other side of that, when I'm no longer a principal and employed by the school district, I finally have a voice. I have to be cautious of how I use it. I don't want to use my voice for this profession and it sound like I get out of the teaching or administration position and now everything I say is all the bad things that were in education, or all the things that were not positive, or I don't want to hear that. I hear that all the time. I don't need to hear that. It's frustrating. I've unfollowed a lot of education professionals because it's just the same argument all the time. We're just screaming down a rabbit hole. So losing my voice for a while in order to maybe find it again after I've retired, and maybe people will be able to hear me, or I can use my voice for education. Maybe I just drop all of it. Maybe I don't talk about or do anything in the education profession after May as it is, but we'll wait and see. I think like there could be a retirement series. If I have some other things to talk about as far as retirement, since it gets approved by the board tomorrow night, there might be more things that I learn as now I go through the process. What's it gonna feel like while they hire my replacement? What's it gonna feel like when they post this position? What's it gonna feel like when the person who takes my place is here in the building, when I'm in the building and I get to talk to them about my building? They may care, they may not care. I may go through, I have a binder. I have been keeping everything for the new person in my teacher binder. So everything I create and do and processes that I have, I've been keeping in this to leave for the person who takes my place. So there's a lot of things I could include in my retirement series, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about this. This is a big thing in regards to my YouTube channel, the content that I put out all these years. I have no idea what's next.